three.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septo Sid versus the world. Septo Sid versus the world. Septo Sid versus the world. Septo Sid versus the world.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going with a pick from my film mind, and I decided to go with a well-known movie in the horror film industry, which started a franchise called Wishmaster, and it was directed by Robert Kurtzman. It was written by Peter Atkins. It was produced by Pierre David, Clark Peterson, Noel Zanich. But there is an executive producer that is behind this feature, which a lot of us do know. It was produced, executively produced by Wes Craven. So, that being said, it stars Tammy Lauren, Andrew Divoff as the Jin, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Robert Englund, Reggie Bannister, and also narrated by the tall man from Phantasm, Angus Scrimm. So it's got a lot of people involved in it. See what IMDb says about the feature really quick. A demonic djinn attempts to grant its owner 3 wishes, which will allow him to summon his brethren to Earth.
Cool.
So, heading into first impressions here. Let's start with you, Boris. Was this a first-time watch for you?
Yes, it was the first time, and I'm really glad I saw this movie because I have actually kind of had it on my to-watch list for a while. You know how big fan I am of the movie The Seekers. And somewhere on IMDb, I once read someone comparing The Seekers to The Ring. Well, to The Ring for obvious reasons, but also to this movie, The Wishmaster. So for that reason, I've been curious about this movie for quite a while, but I somehow never got to watching it. And this time I finally did, and I'm really glad I watched it. It did. I would say it didn't really bear that much resemblance to The Seekers. Maybe a little bit, not very much, but it was still a very entertaining movie. It belongs to the horror genre, which we all know is my favorite, and it's quite some good fun. I mean, horror with a little bit of humor that, it's got some elements of comedy that I would say work pretty well for this movie. It was. Okay, maybe at the very beginning it was a little bit slow, but not too much. It got exciting pretty quickly, and then it was quite exciting until the end. So I would say this is one of those movies that could have actually used more screen time. I mean, it could have been a little longer than it was without getting boring. uh, yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one, and I'm glad I finally watched it.
Okay. And just to let those of you know out there, this was filmed in 1997. Um, but heading over to Tammy, was this a first time watch for you?
No, it's not. I don't actually remember when I watched it for the first time, but I definitely enjoyed it. I own the franchise, so but yeah, it was definitely. I remember it went along with the lines of things that I liked at the time and still do. As far as horror movies and everything. So I definitely found it entertaining, and I like a lot of the actors that are in it. So it was fun to rewatch it because it's been quite a while. So
Yeah, it's been quite a while for me too. I'm not sure exactly when I first watched this film myself, but it's definitely along the lines of some of the things um, that I would watch of the time. And this, another thing I want to mention is that this is evidently the only film in the franchise that Wes Craven backed with his executive producer uh, uh, name behind it. Um, but I liked the humor. I liked the fact that they fuck with your fairy tale concept of what a genie is for the first time in this
a
film.
gin, not a genie.
Yeah, well, a djinn is the same thing as a genie.
No, they're not.
Uh, well, from what I understood, at least that's what they say. This movie, that the concept of a genie was derived from the concept of a jinn. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Yeah, only they really toned it down a lot.
Well, yeah. They definitely made the genie a bit in fairy tales. Definitely a more of a softy type thing that you would tell your kids to make them believe in magic, you know. But
Well,
Well,
the gin,
from what I understand, the grim fairy tales were toned down quite a bit over the
oh
years too.
yes, yes. Go look up how the Sleeping Beauty was woken up in the original.
well, yeah. But uh, the tone of the fairy tales toned down over time, and well, in this particular universe, uh, the jinn is more a demonic entity from hell.
Or
That
something like hell, yeah.
well, yeah, and they are specifically put out there as these beings that collect wishes, and once they collect enough souls, they the person who has awoken them must make their three wishes for all of their kind to wreak havoc on Earth, kind of like a Judgment Day type thing, you know.
Yes.
Demons coming to hell from on Earth. You know, the whole apocalyptic madness that most abnormal devil creatures end up having in their storyline to do.
Oh yeah.
But So in the very beginning of and I enjoyed this movie along with some of the other ones in the franchise. I think they actually do a pretty decent job with each, and the way that they had the creature take a human form, it kind of reminded me of like the Witches of Eastwick type vibe with the Jinn type character. Um,
That that part kind of reminded me of that movie, The End of Days, that we did a while ago.
yeah, and I feel like a little bit of Hellraiser vibes, just a little bit.
Whew.
Like the moment where he took the main character girl into Alexandra into his Jinn world for a moment, and you saw creatures and things of that nature. Um, but let us go back to the beginning. So it's about 1117, I think AD, and it's the Persian emperor that is being, shall I say he's being teased or what is it, tortured into making his final wish. But while this is happening, there's a sorcerer that works for the Persian Empire by the name of Zoroaster, who is actually welding a fire opal from fires of some kind, and when he comes into the emperor's throne room, he he basically tries to tell the emperor, "Hey, don't make that wish," and he's being pressured into trying into making his final wish. So he takes it upon himself and starts emitting a spell of some kind, which apparently works on the Jinn at the moment. Oh, and while he's going to the throne room, you see a lot of people that have things coming out of their stomachs, and they're being attacked by the demons and the Jinn and whatnot coming out of their bodies, because evidently these people have had their souls taken from them. And whatnot too. So I give a lot of credit to the special effects team behind this movie too. I mean, there was a lot of it that was going on in this very beginning scene, and there were some CGI effects that were done a little bit throughout too. But they relied on mainly special effects, which is why I still kind of liked this movie, because they had quite a little bit of both, and both of them I think kind of worked handedly enough that you could tell they were pulling out all the stops for this movie. But
Oh yeah.
in any case, he gets the Jinn trapped inside this fire stone, which ultimately we find out is an opal. So it's kind of a blood opal almost. But what do y'all think about that very beginning scene? Tammy, what did you think about that the whole beginning up until the present day? Do you think they did a good job of setting it up?
Oh yeah, the things that the people were turning into were like, ooh, it's the normal horror, creepy, whatever, and the effects were really good about, the things that were happening and, kind of gruesome. And
Yeah,
so, yeah.
especially. Okay, there was some obvious CGI, but okay, that was 1997. It was, uh, I would say, okay, there already was a fairly well developed CGI even back then, but not quite the way it is nowadays. So yeah, I'd say it was pretty good.
Well, yeah, see, with Wes Craven behind it, you're not surprised with the effects that you ended up getting because, I think with him being behind it, that made a difference in some of the effects that you were able to have, you know. But yeah, it definitely did set the stage.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh yeah. But you also have all these different characters that were involved with horror. I mean, uh, okay, so fast forwarding to present day, we have a ship that has evidently bringing a statue of some kind uh, to into port. You very quickly see Sam Raimi show up, which not was that Sam Raimi? I know it was a Raimi. Pretty sure it was. Let's see, Ted Raimi. Ted Raimi, who he was on Hercules: The Legendary Journeys uh, for a time. Uh, but his brother Sam Raimi was director of the Evil Dead trilogy. So he was the one that was standing and bitching at the dude that. Well, we find out that he's drunk and he has it fall on top of Ted Raimi, and that's not the first time we actually see Ted Raimi get killed. So.
Oh, that was a major spoodow.
Yes, it definitely it was. I seem to remember him getting killed in the Dark Man, or Dark Man, the first one, where his head was in a manhole and he got run over or whatnot. I seem to remember him getting killed there too. So he likes to get killed on screen, I think. But
Wow.
as an actor, he gets killed, and then in that wreckage, a construction worker or a dockhand worker finds a ruby in the wreck, and apparently he pawns it off because a pawnbroker shows up to an auction place a little bit later, which we're introduced actually first to Alexandra, who evidently is in a friendship that is only going one way, or actually seems to be only one-sided. His the friend of hers that is asking her out on a date. Well, he apparently there's something going on in his mind that is not going on in hers. And she just wants to keep it platonic, and he does not. But she ultimately gets to work and finds out that her boss has accepted this stone, this opal, and he wants her to appraise it. Now that's her job, to appraise the price of things that come into their um, establishment. And what do y'all think about her boss and apparently the place of work that she works at? Because I believe it's her sister that she works with there as well.
Who is? Does her sister work with her? I actually kind of forgot that.
Yeah, she's that secretary, blonde girl that
Ah,
that's a boss
oh
there.
yeah. I actually, yeah, like I said, I see this movie only once so far, and I watched it yesterday because today I had a little family reunion, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time to watch it today, so I watched it yesterday. So yeah, some details like this slipped my mind. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. What do you think about the establishment? Do you think, Tammy? Do you think it's on the up and up?
Well, for the most part, I mean, I think the boss likes to make money, but I think he still somewhat appreciates the objects and everything. But but I do think he kind of is, you know, he's kind of in it for the money too, you know. But because later on, when the djinn is playing with something that's expensive, he says, that's expensive.
Yeah.
So, I think he does appreciate what things are and what they're worth, but the undertow on it is, he wants to make money off of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So it's while she is actually looking at the opal underneath the microscope is when she starts hearing a whisper to
Why do you
herself.
keep calling it an opal? It looks like a ruby, not an opal.
But
She's called. They call it an opal.
yeah, I think it was said it was an opal, which I didn't think it looked like one, but they said it was one, I think.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They
because it
not
sure
only
don't look
said it.
like no opal.
She keeps calling it an opal throughout the whole entire movie.
Oh, I didn't realize she was. Sorry, because
Yeah.
sure looks like a ruby.
Well, an opal that looks like a ruby. Let's put it that way. It doesn't look like an opal to us, guys, but you can be the judge of what kind of rock that is, and you can sink to the bottom of the Titanic floor with it if you want. But um, it is what it is being called, and apparently there's a whisper that whispers to her that basically she's woken something up. You know, you woke me. That's what she keeps hearing. But she takes and brings it to her friend Nick. I think his name is, or Nicholas.
uh, yeah, there is someone named Nick. Who
Nick
was
is
he?
her
Was he?
boss. Josh is her friend.
Okay,
Yes,
Josh.
yes.
Okay. She does bring it to her friend Josh, who says he'll get to it when he gets to it, and when he finally does, he puts it and under some lasers, and the lasers explode, and uh,
And there's the
as he appears to be dying, this halfway away the jinn looking body crawls towards him and basically tells him, do you want to no longer feel any pain? And he says yes, and he basically puts him out of his misery.
and that explosion is the second Spoodow!
Indeed. And not only does this explosion happen, but Alexandra seems to realize that it's happening and that it's her friend Josh that's in trouble, and she starts to call him, but then I think she sees a vision of him dying, and also a vision of the jinn in her mind. It's like she's telekinetically bonded in some sort of way now to the jinn and what he does.
Yeah, like when she awakened him, like she did develop some telepathic connection to him or something like that.
Yep. So she gets there, and her friend Josh has died, or whatnot, and she is questioned by the lead detective in the case, and they think that it was just a machinery gone wrong type of thing. And honestly, they've kind of closed the case on it because that's what they think it is. But
Well, for by human standards, that really is all they could figure out.
yeah, they could have done more. But in any case, it's like most bumbling cops that show up in the late '80s to early '90s. They seem to make the cops. Although in this one they seemed like okay, you know, but they still made cops look like they didn't know how to do shit in these kind of movies.
But what cop would imagine a demon causing something like that?
Whoa, true. They wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So, trying to think of what happens next because there's a lot that does happen on all sides. Because the jinn starts going after people for wishes.
Well, there was also the part about Alexandra blaming herself for what happened to Josh, and we get some backstory of hers and how she, back in the day, saved her sister from a fire, but failed to save her parents, and she is blaming herself for that too.
Yeah, there is that. Because apparently her parents died in the fire, and she wasn't able to save them and her sisters. Kind of flippantly telling her that it's not her fault and that you better be careful because we. Do you think we have to talk to a doctor again because you'll start seeing things again? Because apparently she started, you know, going a little crazy at the time that had happened. So,
Well, yeah, she most definitely had some PTSD.
oh yeah, but in any case, so she does have that happen, but the jinn, well, after his dalliance with Josh, I do believe that he runs into a few. Oh, that's right. Um, there is a bum, and honestly, this has a Back to the Future reference because that bum is the same bum that shows up in Back to the Future on that park bench all the time.
Huh. In-
Whenever Marty came back from the future, and the watch where you're going, you crazy drunk pedestrian. But yeah, he is angry at a doctor that wouldn't give him some kind of medicine.
No, he's
And
angry at the drugstore dude because the drugstore dude yells at him for panhandling outside his store.
correct. And
True.
the guy who plays the drugstore dude, that's Reggie Bannister, who was in Phantasm. But I guess he's spouting some stuff and runs into the gin in the alley, and he's like, "Did you really mean all those things that you said?" And the bum kind of like chalks it off, like, "Yeah, of course." And he goads him into stating exactly what he wishes, and I believe he wished for the dude to have cancer and die, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was one of the things he had wished. He had wished all different things, but he kind of settled on that one, and it was. But he had a whole slew of things that he was yelling at him, you know.
yeah, he wanted a whole bunch of things to happen to him. But because he settled on that, in the middle of a conversation, the drugstore guy ended up poxing up with cancer on the outside and kind of just died right there.
Yeah, that was quite shocking. I
And
mean,
then trying to think, who did they go to next? Oh yeah, the Jin also went, and there was a oh okay, that's when he went to the morgue and grabbed someone's face that had died, and like tore it off and put it on him, and he became that face. And that face is actually the actor's face
well,
that plays the Jin, anyways.
well, at least he did the face thing better than that turkey from Thanksgiving.
True. So
Sorry.
that was Andrew Divoff's face, and he looked pretty fucking evil anyway, ways at times. But after he donned that face, he walked into a mall store, I think, and a black chick was a colored girl was talking to him, and he basically made her wish that she would be able to be beautiful for forever. Like, and he turned her into a mannequin. Was there anyone else besides her that he got wishes from? Oh yeah,
The
he
security guard.
That's right. The security guard of the auction place, because he was looking for Alexandria.
Yes.
But he got the young guy at the coroner's office too.
That's right. The young guy at the coroner's office, he didn't want to see what he was doing, so he scratched out his eyes and took his soul there. And the security guard, well, that was Kane Hodder.
Oh, he also caused a massacre at the police station.
That's right, but that I think happened a little bit later.
Oh, sorry.
First was the security guard, and he basically said the only way you're getting in here is if you're going through me. So he basically made him seem like he was part of the security gate, and he walked right through him, and he broke apart like he was a piece of glass.
Spudow!
So that actor right there was Kane Hodder, which Kane Hodder played Jason for about seven films in the franchise of Friday the 13th.
Whoa! Didn't know that.
Yep. And he's been a face of horror for a long time, anyways. But also okay. So after he did that, he got. That's when he ran into the auctioneer dude, and that's where we get the moment where Tammy had mentioned earlier that he picked up a trinket that was expensive, and he almost dropped it, and the djinn was like, "How would you like it if I made this worth more than it is right now?"
Oh yeah, that was also a good moment.
He turned it into gold.
And it was full of diamonds.
Yep.
Oh yes.
And also, he asked for $1 million or $100 million or some shit like that, and that's when he sold his soul. But he still didn't get any address from the guy, so that's when he went to the lead detective in the case and asked about it, and asked for Alexandra's address, and the detective told him no, and that's when he got a little bit inquisitive, and then he looked over and he wished he could nail the guy dead to rights over there, and that's when the guy started shooting at cops and starting chaos there. And while that was going on, he got the address. I guess he got an address where she was going to be. You know, and I think he got the somebody else's address though first through a phone conversation that Alexandra apparently had while she was on the phone with the detective. Okay. But I have to backtrack a little bit to what Alexandra was doing too. Actually, what do y'all think about what's going on with the djinn so far? Was it all pretty wicked?
Yeah. There was some dark humor there that was pretty much to my taste, I must admit.
What about you, Tammy? What did you think of the Jinn so far?
Well, he definitely, in a way, it still kind of goes along with the genies that we know because they have a habit of turning what you wish for into something different than what you really meant, you know. So he kind of goes along that line too.
Well, yeah, be careful what you wish for, and 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 be more specific when you're actually making your wishes. You know,
Definitely.
if you're going to wish something, make sure that it's not a halfway wish, because it could turn into something entirely different than you originally intended. Uh, but in any case, Alexandra, well, she actually tries to track down where the opal came from, and she does. She finds out from the broker through, I guess, a few threats. Um, she hunts down the dock worker, and the dock worker, well, he's a little bit of a piece of work, but also then she tracks it to Bowman, which Bowman is played by Robert Englund. And no offense, but anytime I see him now, he always reminds me of Freddy Krueger, because he was in fact the original Freddy Krueger.
Interesting.
But he has this whole like evil thing that he tells her about the statue. In fact, he kind of takes her back and shows her where the statue would have been. But then he tells her that he's got this professor lady, that if you catch her in the right moment, in the right attitude, she might be up her alley of trying to get down to the basics of what the story is to this thing that the statue, not because she knows more about the subject than he does, apparently. And when she tracks down the professor lady, well, she is working with a drama club, or dramatic theater, and loaning out some of her own pieces to this theater uh, thing. And she tells her about the whole Jinn story, how they're not like our regular fairy tales, and how they collect wishes, and they've got to make the person uh, make 3 wishes in order for the whole entire population of the Jinn to procreate on the earth. Story.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's unfortunate because by the time she circles back around to this professor lady later, the Jinn actually gets to her and everyone that's in between, and I think she also gets to. I think the Jinn also ultimately gets to her sister. Um, in the end as well.
Well, he threatens to get it to her sister, so
Okay, he threatens to get at her sister,
he
and
does eventually trap her, but he doesn't like possess her or anything. He traps her.
correct. And
Oh, in the picture.
what were the 2 wishes that she made? I was trying to remember those. I know he
The
got.
First
first
wish
two,
is she wanted to know what a Jinn
to
really was.
yes, and the second was to be sent back home.
That's right. Without him.
Right.
which was a smart move because then it made her home a safe place. But by the time she got home, she got a note saying that her sister had gone to this party that she wasn't planning on going to, and I think she was trying to tell her sister to stay home from it earlier too.
Yeah, but the sister wasn't listening.
Nope, she wasn't listening and wasn't following the rules. So she had to go and get her sister from that. But when she gets there, she's not even dressed for the party. But she basically tells the doorman, which the doorman is played by Tony Todd, which, as we know, plays the original Candyman.
Ah.
But right here he's playing Johnny Valentine, a security doorman who doesn't take shit for nobody, and he basically is trying to tell the Jin dude that he can't get in, and he basically the Jin tempts him into saying that he wishes that he could escape. So he puts him in one of Houdini's escape methods, and is like, "Well, Houdini could do this in whatever minutes." So I forget how long he said, but that's when he went in, and she went in to look for her sister. She found her at the bar, and she tried to get her to go with her. The sister wasn't having none of it, but that's when things started to go the wrong way, because the Jin was actually with Robert Englund's character, and he was playing Bowman, and he wished that he could be a host of one of the parties of the ages back in the day. So what do you think the Jin did? He granted that wish. So it then became a massacre of wishes because people started wishing left and right while they were there, and then pandemonium set in and people started running. And then, of course, that's when it gets crazy, because then they all the statues that are surrounding Alexandra start coming alive, and you can tell that some of them are like Gandhi or a Roman legion.
Actually, funnily enough, one statue I recognized, maybe not in that scene,
Genghis
but in the
Khan.
previous. What?
Genghis Khan, I think, was one of the statues.
Yeah, maybe that too, but one statue I recognized was Pazuzu, a demon, which also appeared in The Exorcist.
Oh, okay. And they also, I think they also, no, that was interesting, because I think when I was watching some of the behind the scenes, I think the main actress actually mentioned her liking The Exorcist for some reason. But in any case, so all these statues that were like lining the walls came to life and just started like literally killing each of the security team that were part of the security detail for the party. And there were people being drawn and quartered. There were people being beheaded. I mean, heads did roll. While this all was going on, because there was the one guy that his arms were basically ripped apart, and his head was totally guillotined off.
Spudow!
Yeah, another Spudow. So, what do y'all think about this final battle, basically, where he's basically trying to scare her into wanting to die?
It was pretty good, and I must say, throughout the whole thing, I was kind of wondering why she wasn't making a wish such as to turn back time to the point before the accident with the statue happened. But then at the end, she pretty much wished exactly for that. So there didn't end up being the plot hole I thought there was going to be.
Right. And when she did make her wish, that definitely made the Jinn very surprised. What did you think about the reaction to the Jinn and what he pulled against Alexandra, Tammy?
Well, yeah, he wanted her to make that wish so he could have the three wishes, but he did not expect her to make the one that she did, but she was smarter, and she had already asked him when she first met him if she could wish for him to go away or if she could wish for him to die. And remember, she wished for him to blow his brains out, and that was one of the comic things.
Yeah.
And so she already knew.
Although I am immortal and I don't die, that really fucking hurt.
Right. So she already knew she couldn't wish for anything like that, So she was very
Well,
smart
and
in what she did wish for, because she did make things go back. She, because she made things go back to a time where he was not discovered, because the gemstone was not discovered, So
Yes, it remained in the statue in the end without anyone knowing.
right, so she was very smart.
yeah, and even though he made it seem like her sister was on fire in a similar position where she was in the fire where her parents died, I think at the end of the day she knew it was just an illusion.
Well,
Well,
I think it would. I think if it would have kept going on, something would have happened to her. But because she made the wish, it made it stop.
Yep.
yeah, I don't think it was necessarily an illusion, although I wonder what wish was it? I mean, he can do crazy things, but only if people wish for them to happen. So I wonder what wish it could have been that made him able to trap the sister in a picture and do things like set her on fire within that picture and make her experience pain and so on.
Very true. So I think at this point in time we have reached the point where um, uh, now we have everything has returned to the very beginning, and um, she basically asks Josh out, and Ted Raimi, his character, is saved, and you know, they don't even know anything has happened. So, well, I think she does, because I think even though everything
Yes.
returns, she remembers, which is why her attitude has changed towards him.
Yes, I think so.
So, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. But um, at the end of the day, what do y'all think about the production and the special effects?
I thought the production was really good and the effects. I mean, like I said, with Wes Craven behind it, you you're not surprised at how good they are. And you're not surprised about how gory they can get either with him behind it.
Well, yeah.
Well, true.
So
I even enjoyed some of the beginning of effects. There was a point in time where a skeleton came out of a body suit, and it kind of reminded me of like Ray Harryhausen, Jason and the Argonauts type shit, you know?
Well, yeah, good thinking.
But yeah, I definitely liked the effects. I thought that they were good. I thought the production was good. I enjoyed um the all the different well-known actors that were in it and everything. So yeah, I thought it was really good.
I did
True.
too. I liked the effects, and that goes for all of the effects, including the stuff where you know he had all the souls collected that he collected of the people surrounding her, the fact that they were in pain and whatnot. And, the people in the very beginning with the Persian Empire, all those special effects, and you gotta admit the bodysuit of the Jinn was fucking awesome. I mean,
Oh,
the
yes, yes.
the mask, the look, the feel. I mean, he's got some really gnarly looking. Uh, what is it? Billy Goat's gruff horns.
Right.
um, so um, I really liked the look of the Jinn. I liked the comedy, and I think the comedy just builds as the films go even further. It's kind of like the Leprechaun comedy, you know, during that phase of the '80s with the Leprechaun and the way that you know they had some taglines, you know. So,
Interesting comparison. Yeah.
but not the only Jin movie that I know, but definitely one of the OGs in franchise history. I know that there's a lot of films that have to do with Aladdin. This was the first darkest one dealing with a demonic version, and I think they did well for themselves. What about you, Boris? What did you think about the and the way that they portrayed each of the like the Jin world and yeah, just everything seemed pretty fucking awesome. Anyways, over to you, Boris. Thoughts on production and special effects?
Well, I also think the production was really good. The special effects too. The whole beginning scene really did have a lot of very cool special effects, and so did the scene near the end when all the statues came to life and all the chaos happened. That was all really well done. And the statues themselves, okay, I don't know, uh, maybe they were just bought, maybe they weren't made specifically for the movie. I'm not sure, but the statues also looked very cool. And yeah, the Jin, his real looks before he took a human form, the effects when he took Alexandra to his world, where all the red filters were on screen and things like that. Yeah, it was definitely all pretty well done. Oh, and the explosion at Josh's place, Spoodow! The Spoodowns were pretty good, as Spoodowns usually are. Uh, hello. Huh. Hello. I can't hear either
I
of
said
you.
quite a bit of spoodows. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I was trying to look up the the musician, and the composer is Harry Manfredini. You can hear
Who?
me still, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and he was behind Friday the 13th stuff. Um, so trying to look and see how far back he goes. Looks like he's been quite a bit a part of a lot of the yeah. He did the music behind Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th, the game, and so on and so forth. So, uh, but yeah, I think he did the composing music for My Boyfriend's Back, Jason Goes to Hell, the War of the Worlds TV series, House 3, the horror show, Deep Star 6, the Violence movie, which are some Friday the 13th fan films.
Who?
Friday the 13th, New Blood, House 2, Slaughter High, House. So Zombie Island, a Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, Part 2, Swamp Thing. He's been a composer behind quite a few of those. The Children, which was another Trauma picked up movie. Just looking backwards. Okay, so yeah, he's been quite a bit part of the horror community. Um, did anyone notice the music at all?
Oh, let me think. I cannot remember anything in particular off the top of my mind right now.
Okay, Tammy, did you pay attention to the music at all, or hear it, or anything, or was it
Not too
basically
much.
okay? I still think that the composing music behind it, at least the initial main title composing music, is like original to the movie franchise. So I feel like it followed the franchise a little bit. Other than that, let's go with favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
Ooh.
Let's start with you, Tammy. Favorite scene or scenes and our favorite character.
My favorite character is the Jinn.
Your favorite character is the Jinn?
Yes.
Okay. What
I
about
like.
you?
I actually like when he's in the when he looks like the Jinn when he's not somebody else.
Yeah.
I think he looks cool. Um he's the bad guy. He's the Jinn. But
He's the villain.
yeah. Um. Favorite scene. Wheel. I think when that security guard, you said is Cade, when he says the only way you're getting in is if you walk right through me or something like that. If you go through me, and when he turns him into that glass or whatever, it walks right through him like that, and the shatters. I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you think about it, he also said, the security guard said, I would love to see that, which kind of
Yeah,
implies that if you take it word by word, that while it was happening, even though he was turned into that piece of glass, that he was somehow still conscious to actually see the gene passing through him.
Yeah.
That's quite morbid to imagine.
Oh yeah. All right. What about you, Boris? What did you think about what favorite scene and or favorite character?
My favorite character is probably also the Jin, but I would say Alexandra is the close second. Uh, I like the Jin because, first and foremost, his dark sense of humor is really amazing. I had a lot of good laughs with the way he grants people's wishes, turning it all against them one way or another. There were a lot of hilarious moments with that. And I also like his whole badass attitude, how apparently nothing can stop him. But at the same time, I like Alexandra because she really turned out to be very smart at the end when she found a way to make a wish that would undo all the damage that was done throughout the story. So here in Croatia, we have a saying. Not sure if there is any equivalent in English, but actually, I will look it up right now. Uh, uh, how to say this in English? The strength rolls the logs, but the mind reigns supreme. That's pretty much literally how it's translated. So she kind of proves that sometimes, no matter how much power you have, someone intelligent enough can still fuck you up.
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
It's kind of a
and
be careful what you wish for kind of movie, you know.
oh yeah, definitely. And my favorite scenes, well, one scene I definitely like is the final encounter when she made that wish that undid it all. But I also liked all the good spoo downs throughout the movie, as you expected. But also one scene I really liked, which we somehow didn't mention, while Alexandra was investigating the origin of the gemstone, and she tracked down this guy who stole it from the scene when everyone was concerned about the guy who got killed by the statue falling. So remember when she found this guy who stole the gemstone and sold it away? And the guy said they gave me a couple $100 for it. Did they fuck me up? Okay, maybe he didn't say it in those exact words, but yeah, he basically asked if he got
Did they screw me
less.
over?
Yeah, did they screw me over? Yeah, and she said royally. that was that was really hilarious, and I actually liked that scene for kind of personal reasons because there was a relatively similar moment in my life when I visited the local antiquity fair in my town. There was one guy selling old toys, and I went to check what he had. And guess what? He had this vintage replica of a transformation pen from Sailor Moon. Okay, it was not in a box and all that, but it was still an official Sailor Moon item from 1992. And you know, the prices of such things are insane on eBay, right? And
Right.
I took that pen and I walked to the guy to ask him how much for that. And I was thinking, okay, it's not in a box, and Sailor Moon is not very popular here. Maybe if I'm lucky, I might be able to get it for 10 euros or so. And I thought even that was unrealistic to expect. He's probably going to ask a lot more. Okay, actually, at that time, we still had the Croatian currency named kuna, which nowadays is lost. I thought I was hoping he would sell it to me for 50 kunas, which would be something less than 10 euros actually. So I was walking to him wondering if I get this for 50 kunas, I am really lucky. So I came to him and asked how much for this pen, and he said nonchalantly that, oh, 5 kunas. Why? 5 kunas! Like I almost lost my poker face, like the poor guy had no idea what he was selling.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
so I
Some
got
people don't know what treasures that they have when you walk into these places.
Uh, unfortunately, yeah, later on I kind of felt sorry for him, but at the same time, if I had told him that it was worth way more than 5 kunas, then maybe he would have asked for more than I actually had with me. So I had to take that offer.
Hey, if he wanted to sell it for less, then that's on him. So,
Mm, yeah, true.
but
And
in
truth
any
be
case,
told,
yeah. Go ahead.
uh, yeah, I was going to say by now I could have already sold it for much more, but I mean, I
You like
was,
Sailor Moon way too much.
yeah, pretty much. And I also kind of don't want to part with the memory of that moment.
Okay. And me myself, well, I'm going to have to go with. I think I like the moment when she's actually inside the Jin world, where she's seeing all the people that he has collected souls from, and whatnot. I do like that moment where he just walks through Kane Hodder like he's nothing, and then he breaks like glass. That is pretty sweet.
Spudow!
That is pretty sweet. Tammy, you picked a good one, but I do like the Jin as my favorite character. There's just something about him that, well, um, I wish there were people like that in our regular daily lives. Wait,
You
maybe not.
do.
No, not really. Um,
Be careful what you wish for.
uh, um, honestly, it might make this world a better place. But in any case, yeah, I enjoy. I think I enjoy the final the final moment too, like the fact that she's the reaction that the Jin has is so like um I bet you're wishing that you would never met me when the darn thing was pulling him towards. And I think I liked the reaction of the Jin when he was being trapped inside the opal too. So
Oh
um
yeah, he was actually still laughing, like he was confident he would get out again.
at the end, well, what? Well, she did not. What is it? Josh actually at the end was like, "Are you feeling okay?" Because it almost seemed like she was a totally different person. And then you see the Jin laughing as if something was wrong. So they made you feel like she was no longer the same person, kind of thing. You know?
Who? Okay, I
Did
didn't get.
did you kind of get that feeling, Tammy? Like the Jin was laughing because he knew something was up and something was awry.
Maybe a little bit.
Just like they were doing okay, okay, maybe things didn't go back to being as perfect as you thought they were, kind of moment.
Oh yeah, I didn't quite get the impression as if she was not the same person or something like that, but the Jean laughing kind of made me think that he was already figuring out some other way to get out, and that he already somehow had a plan, or at least had some expectation of something that might happen at that museum that might make him get out again.
Yep. So, but that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you are careful what you wish for in the future, and you uh, take a gander and look at this movie and watch it, and let us know down in the comments what you thought of our discussion and what you thought of the movie. And I guess we're pretty much done for with our discussion on it. So like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And I think it's your turn next. So, what did you want to accomplish next time?
Well, would it be too much of a nuisance for you if I chose the Ring 3, or it's actually called Rings from 2017, but it's practically the Ring 3?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We might as well finish the initial American franchise, and then
Oof.
we'll have covered at least the initial Japanese and the initial Americano. Uh,
Oh, yeah, and then we will see if you don't feel like doing these newer Japanese ring movies, then maybe I won't be bothering you with those. I
Well, it's not that I don't want to. These will be just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, these will be rings that are not part of the original Ring franchise and not really acknowledged, but they are acknowledged by our good friend Boris here. So,
well, actually, Sadako 3D, as far as I know, does count as an official part of the franchise, just made much later.
ah, then why didn't it show up in the Japanese box set of Arrow?
That's a good question. I don't know.
See, that's why I don't think it is necessarily thought of, because to me, if it was even part of the original franchise, even though it was done later, it should have been part of it. You know?
Uh, yes, actually, I don't know why it wasn't. I mean, there are some unofficial movies that some people consider a part of the Ring franchise. Well, they are Chinese unofficial crossovers with another horror franchise. They are called Bunshin Saba versus Sadako. There is Yeah, there are three movies of those, and there are some other unofficial ones. But as far as I know, so far, Sadako 3D is usually considered a part of the franchise. It was based on a novel written by the same writer who wrote the original Ring novel.
Says you, but I guess.
Okay.
I guess when I think about it, I mean, it should, if it was part of the original franchise, then it should have been in the box set, and it's not part of the box set, so it's outside shit. So
I
outside of the ring and not necessarily acknowledged as part of the original shit. So
I guess. I mean, I really don't know why it wasn't included there.
because it wasn't really, it was something made outside of the whole ring franchise, but in probably uh was it directed by the same director as one of the people in the original franchise?
This one, Sadako 3D wasn't, but another movie from 2019 just named Sadako was directed by Hideo Nakata, the director of Ringu and Ringu 2.
Oh, who knows? Maybe they'll actually stick a whole bunch of newer Sadako movies together and call it a box set of some sort. But it's not part of the Japanese horror J horror franchise as we know it in both the franchise, because I have the DVD and the Blu-ray, at least of the Japanese ones, and none of them have any of the ones that you told me about that were
Well,
outside.
Uh, one possible explanation. Okay, I don't know. Before this Arrow edition, was the original Ringu ever released on Blu-ray?
Yeah, no, not on Blu-ray, but
Uh,
it was initially in a franchise collection of DVDs,
well,
the same way.
that might be the reason because Sadako 3D was released on Blu-ray and those newer ones were probably released too. So maybe this Arrow edition just released those that had not been released on Blu-ray before.
But I don't think there is an American Blu-ray that is all region for Sadako 3D. So
Ah,
That's
Okay, yeah.
if it was internationally like produced here in the U.S., then I would say that that maybe it's a little bit more broadly known, you know.
Huh.
But in any case, I have no problems watching some of these others since I put a lot of them to disc. The only thing is Sadako 3D2. We never did find one with subtitles.
Oh yeah, if in the worst case I'm gonna have to rip that one from my own DVD copy and deliver it to you.
Ah, okay. Well, probably a better idea to we transfer it because it downloads faster there. So,
Oh, okay.
but in any case, like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully you have a good afternoon wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good.